Good morning. Today we are going to have our session in English. I've been requested by some gentleman called Fafa Swaib. Fafa Swaib says that he wanted this information in English so that it can be sunk into people's minds. And you'll excuse me, my English I think is not good enough because I hardly speak in English. And I'll try my best to put more light on everything, just for the people who can't understand our local language very well. You might be aware that we hardly use English. I'm in Uganda, I stay in Sese Islands. The biggest population here is of monkeys. But since it is a special request, I'll do my best. Much as I'm cultural and traditional, I'm one of the lucky people that my ancestors allowed me to go to school. And I learned English, of course. And now it's time to go to the reserves and bring it on so that you people can get to understand what I have to say. Thank you very much for understanding. We have been taking along lessons of spiritual awakening and awareness, what we call in Uganda Okwezuula. And in part 4, I was requested to particularly translate that part. After seeing the first one that involved getting ready, orientation, then the second one was about how to start the process. We have been doing this basically culturally, according to our tradition here in Uganda region. What I'm teaching actually applies to other regions also. The difference is what we use, because if I'm a Christian and I go to church, they will give me bread for their meal. But as a Muganda, I'll eat matoke. I name Nyuru would love to eat kalo, and so on and so forth. So it depends on what do you use. What is your local food? What food does your ancestor understand? Can you eat and eat with them joyously? That is the point. So I've been all along trying to tell you how you can get to be aware of your spiritual powers and use them to get what you want. Use them to live a good life. Use them to live an abundant life. A life of abundance where you have everything you need. And in this part 4, we talked about the findings. We've talked about the findings whereby someone called me and told me that he had a dream, his ancestors telling him that he should do their work in the shrine. And he was a reverend. So he found out that it was really difficult for him. He told him, and I was, yes, it's okay. That's what you found out. But it can still work out. You don't have to resent yourself or resent your ancestors or be mad at them because they've told you what you have to do. And when we start this process of awareness, self-awareness, It is a process just like all processes. Other people keep complaining that these things don't end, don't stop, but that's not actually the truth. When you do those 9 days we've talked about, it is most likely that on the first day, you will know what to do. Others will know it on the second day. And others will know on the 9th day. Others may not even know. Why? Because the setting of when you have to know is inside you. When you get into this action doubtfully, it is most likely that you won't get what you want to know. So you have to have a clear intention and trust that the process will get to you. So you have to get into it fully with all your mindset, knowing that it is you who has to do it and you have to benefit from it. You don't have to doubt anything unless you're doubting someone else. It is not like going to a fortune teller who is going to tell you something you're not even sure of. That fortune teller will tell you something of the future, but you're not sure. But this is a situation where you're going to know by yourself exactly what you have to do. So it is best that we do it ourselves. You can know it through a dream. You can know it through a visualization. And dreams are tricky. Sometimes you may get a dream that is so clear that you can get to know the meaning. And sometimes you can get a dream that is tricky that you can't easily read it. And sometimes you can get a dream on someone else and that person you may not even know. Still, by the fact that it is you who has gotten that dream, it means it concerns you. You can't dream something that doesn't concern you. There is a message in that dream for you. That's why I told you, it's okay. You can call me and tell me that dream. You can text me and tell me that dream. And then I can interpret that dream for you. Other times, it can be a visual message. Just between sleep and awakening, you like see some visual thing. Those visuals are in most cases a flash of something that might happen very soon. They last just a few seconds. So they carry messages, and their messages in most cases get to come true most of the time. So you can note that. These visual messages don't last a while. Sometimes you can be preparing for a travel and you like maybe sit somewhere waiting maybe breakfast, and just in a flash you see someone getting an accident, and that's it. That is a message to you. You just have to be conscious. You just have to pray that that doesn't happen to you. Some people see those visuals and in actual sense they even see them. So what matters is how do you interpret the findings. Some people get these messages clearly, some don't. Some on one day, some on the first day, and on maybe on the 9th day. But it all depends on how clean you are. Clean, not as in your clothes or what, but clean as in your thoughts. Because if you have negative tendency, then you're blocked. What goes round comes round. if you wish bad for others, if you resent others, if you feel guilt and fear, all those are negative tendencies. So those may not bring messages to you easily because you have blockages in your way. So you need to be clean. Resenting people and resenting yourself doesn't help us in this process. It is true they have done bad to you and everything, but still you have to forgive them. So here is a situation whereby one is treating you so badly. Maybe it is your stepfather, stepmother. She treats you real bad. And as you grew up, she did a lot to you. But that resentment you've kept for all these years against her is darkness within you, and it is blocking your luck. So it is high time you gave up all those resentments. And mind yourself. Think about yourself. Think positive. Wish yourself good luck. Do you think those people who have good things were only created to have those? No. You can also do it. You just do it the best way you can. Gwe kyonna ky'okola kikole n'amagezi go gonna. Oba oyita kwagala, you just don't mind them. Just mind your own business. Think about your close people, your family. If someone is doing bad to you, don't take the same path as them. Just choose to be happy. Choose to be joyous. Recently, I was talking to my sister, and she's a saved girl. So she was telling me that people sometimes can comment negatively. And I was like, no, don't mind them. If they have their negative tendencies, you just tell them that even in heaven, there is God and Satan. So if in heaven there is negative and positive, how about on earth? Negative people will always exist, and negative tendencies will always exist. And if it so happens in heaven, then why not on earth? So what do? We just mind our business. There is Satan on this earth. And I'll explain to you what I think is Satan in my own perspective. Not just like the white men told us that Satan is supposed to be a black person, black thing. No, that's not true. I've seen Satan in a white skin. My dear, it is terrible. You can never know. So, it's not true that we are Satan, no? But it doesn't mean that Satan doesn't exist. Satan is real. He exists within us. And if you accommodate him, he will lead you his way. So just cleanse yourself and be not very righteous as an angel, but at least do your best. So I was talking about how we handle these findings that we get during awakeness and in our quest of awareness. We have to put away negative tendencies. We have to put away those negative patterns we've kept with us for all that time. And try to do our best to be clean in our thoughts, so that those Holy Spirits can approach us to help us. So we have to make a choice Do we go with the dark ghosts or do we go with the Holy Spirit? If you entertain negative tendencies like resentment, guilt, and hatred, then you're attracting negative tendencies. We live with bad people, we live with negative people, but we teach them good tendencies and we learn to cooperate with them and they adopt to those tendencies. But we know them because evil also has its people. There's no way you can say that the world is full of holy people. No. Even evil exists and it was created by God. So we coexist. We just learn to handle it and deal with it. So after cleansing ourselves, there will be a right path for us to take. And when we find out that we have to do such stuff, as said, we try to harmonize, we neutralize, we come to terms with our ancestors. So when they tell you that you have to sit in the shrine and smoke the pipe, and do our work, yes, don't be scared. You can still do that. I've seen reverends, I've seen sheikhs who are in such categories. For example, what the sheikhs do after building the shrine and everything, they'll go to towns, they get 2 rooms just there near the mosque. When you come to him, he'll read for you a dua. But the real source of his power is back in his bedroom. In his bedroom. That's why he has his powers. He has kept them there. So, goes to everyone. So we've seen a lot of religious people perform miracles, but that doesn't come out of the blue. No, they just get to be aware of what they actually are, and they come to terms with themselves. They make agreements with their ancestors, and they go to work together with their ancestors. If we really are all using power from the same source, we should be able to perform the same tasks. Why aren't we the same? Yes, if all pastors and the soul are using Jesus as their source of power, why didn't they all do miracles the same way? Have you ever thought of that? It is because some of them are aware of themselves. They came to terms with their ancestors. What they could have been performing in the shrine, they're actually performing it in the church now. And they can perform it anywhere. This thing you should know. If I was born spiritually gifted, I can use that power anywhere. I can be in my shrine and perform miracles. I can burn the shrine and go to church and perform the same miracles, as long as we are in terms with my ancestors. Because the powers are with me, not the built shrine. Why do we build the shrine? We build the shrine because it might be in the advantage of the whole family. Much as I may not be of full-time help in that shrine, others will utilize it to their satisfaction. So I'll build that shrine for my ancestors to reside there, and the people who have problems to come there and pray, because the shrine is actually a church where you come and pray and your problems are solved. It's a holy place. It's a clean place. It's not satanic, as they say, no. It is built consciously to be holy. And what goes in there is holy. So if you go there and pray, you expect all the ancestors to be there listening to you. And then they'll see how to help you. We've seen a lot of them. Some are into herbal medicine. Herbal medicine here in Africa is basically into ancestors, because most of the time we just dream this medicine. It's only in recent times that we have had research here, but research in Africa is still on a very poor level. Most of the time we just dream these herbs. And where do we get the dreams? From the ancestors. So you can't tell me that you're into herbal medicine. Your father not all into herbal medicine for all those years, and you have no ancestors of where? Ekyo tekiriyo. Tebabalimba. All those people have come to terms with their ancestors, and that is why they are doing their best. That's why they are good at what they do. They get extra information about that particular thing you're all doing. And they are using their powers for the good. What bad is in helping people? What bad is in treating people? Be it a reverend, a sheikh, or anything. You're solving problems for the people. Is that bad? So, if it is not bad, does it matter that you have a shrine? It doesn't matter. You're a doctor, you're a judge, whoever you are. You have a shrine in your village, you built it with your family. Is it going to be written all over you that you have a shrine? Then why don't you build it and do your best and live a good life? Why do you live life struggling just because you have wars between you and your ancestors? It is pastors in the recent times who have acquired foreign powers. They go to South Africa, they go to Nigeria, bringing in foreign powers, Zimbabwe, bringing in foreign powers. And we've seen wars here between the foreign powers and the local powers. Their ancestors waging war against the foreign powers. And you find a pastor caught into wars, in the middle of wars. He sacrificed children, he raped children, he did this, that, and that. Those things, sometimes I do believe in them, that they are true. Sometimes I don't. Why? Because I know it is a spiritual war. A spiritual war between the foreign powers and your ancestors. And what happens in the end? It is all misery. They get so miserable. And they end up sometimes dying in a very bad state. Have you ever thought what happens if you go and acquire wealth from a pastor who acquired powers from a foreign land? When these powers vanquish, all your wealth will vanquish. Because if his ancestors didn't agree with the powers, nor will your ancestors agree with the powers. That's what happens. Simple. what you should know, that those people you go to pray for you, those people you run to, have foundations. Do you have one? Do you have a foundation? Do you think all the time you'll be running to those people? Will your children also run to those people? No. One time your children will run to you, and what will you do? Because by then you'll be an ancestor. Will you also run again? So it is time we build our own powers. If you really like this message, please subscribe, like it, and share it with your friends. Let them know what happens in this world. Just harmonize with your ancestors. Talk to them, tell them what you really like. I'm sure they will agree with you to some extent. And you live in equilibrium. And you live a stable life. A good life that will honor you. A good life that your children will gain from. Nalongo Nalai. Thank you very much.